The Kawasaki KLR650 is a stalwart of the dual sport and adventure bike genres, and it's recently come in for a major update. But in doing so, has Kawasaki gone and messed up a simple, much loved and proven recipe? Let's find out.
The Kawasaki KLR650 has been with us since 1987, and it hasn't received a major revision since 2008.
Historically, the KLR was one half of an epic sales battle that stretched back over decades. But Suzuki's DR650 SE is now being phased out because it no longer meets mandatory ABS regulations, leaving this updated KLR to carry on without its age-old rival.
And while the update is thorough, the KLR's core strengths of rugged simplicity and value remain, even if the base model's pricing has increased marginally.
In Australia, the model comes in two variants. There's the base spec KLR 650 and this premium KLR 650 Adventure as reviewed here.
The Adventure gets extras like hard panniers, fog lights, frame sliders and 12 volt and USB power sockets, along with this dedicated Cypher Camo Grey paint scheme.
Probably the biggest change is the arrival of electronic fuel injection, which Kawasaki says aids starting in cold conditions and at altitude, while also improving fuel economy.
It also means there's now no fuel tap, just a flashing LCD icon on the dash to warn when you've hit reserve, while the big thumper continues with its 5-speed gearbox and its learner approved status.
The ergonomics have been tweaked slightly, but really it's the same old sit up and beg ride position.
However, the seat height has dropped by 20mm and the handlebar, seat and foot pegs are now rubber mounted to dampen vibration. While there's new bodywork complete with a new screen that is larger and features 2-position manual adjustment. And it's put on some weight. The base model is now 16 kilos heavier, while this Adventure adds a further 12. While the fuel tank has grown in capacity from 22.1 to 23 litres.
The KLR has also been strengthened for better luggage carrying capacity, thanks to an integrated rear subframe and this larger aluminium rear carrier. These hard top opening panniers, standard on the Adventure, can handle 5 kilos each, as can the optional top box.
The bike's electrical system has been boosted, giving more capacity for powered accessories, and we like the handy accessory rail over the instruments.
The switch for the fog lights works well and the button is backlit, but there's no gear indicator on the LCD instrumentation, nor any tacho anymore either, for that matter.
There's no centre stand either, although you do get a nice big footplate for the side stand, while we have what is also possibly the world's biggest cover for a USB socket. The suspension has revised settings but otherwise carries over. You get a non-adjustable fork and a rear monoshock adjustable for preload and rebound, while the 21-inch front and 17-inch rear spoked rims are now said to be stronger. Safety, it's a short chat. The KLR now comes with ABS brakes and that's about it, although the single front disc is also 20mm larger in diameter.
So that's the rundown. Now let's hit the trails and see how all the changes add up.
While KLR devotees were stoked to hear the model would continue, many were worried the update might ditch the veteran model's budget-busting recipe for simplicity and utility. But that's just not the case. Yes, it's heavier and yes, it's a little bit dearer, but the KLR 650 lives on as a wallet-friendly and capable long-haul dual sport with modest but usable performance.
Big singles have their own unique personality and this KLR is no different. You've really got to work the 5-speed gearbox to make the most of the single-cylinder engine's output, and especially highway overtakes are carefully planned affairs.
But vibration is nicely muted and there's a good band of mid-range urge. We put that torque to good use not just in the bush, but on a 1,000 kilometre loop from Melbourne to Victoria's high country, taking in some of the best roads in the country. Meanwhile, our reasonable fuel economy gave us a healthy, safe range of over 360 kilometres from the bigger 23-litre tank.
And for what is essentially a big trailer, comfort is really pretty good. Nice upright ride position with plenty of leg room. The seat's nice and plush and broad,
And the screen's quite effective too, although having to adjust it with an Allen key is a bit fiddly. Any other downsides? Well, no one likes extra weight or extra dollars, but the biggest issue for me is that the ABS can't be turned off. A switchable system would be far more flexible for those heading off-road. In a market where modern adventure bikes can attract stratospheric prices and have every techie feature under the sun, the Kawasaki KLR650 retains a simple, fuss-free formula and keen pricing, while the KLR650 Adventure lays on pragmatic extras for not much more.
Whether you're heading bush for a day or setting off on a global epic, the KLR650 will get the job done, and I, for one, am glad it's with us for the foreseeable future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this and would like to see more, check out our other videos, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.